Hey everybody, how are you? My name is Attorney Charles Zavala from Zavala Texas Law, your immigration lawyer. We are located here in beautiful Houston, Texas, but we can help you with any immigration claim no matter where you are in the US today, even if you're abroad, as long as it has to do with US immigration. So if you like our videos, feel free to subscribe, like, share, do all that stuff, because normally we talk about news or anything that's in the news regarding one of the topic areas that we practice, which will usually be immigration or criminal defense. So today I got a really, I would say good, and it's a benefit to the immigrant. Because sometimes the news I give isn't good for the immigrant, sometimes I give it's good for the immigrant. So this one's actually a very good one, and this has to do with asylum. So what happened is this, and I apologize if you see me looking off the screens because I'm reading, because I just want to make sure I have the information correct. But back in, let me see here, 2020, Department of Homeland Security issued out some rules regarding asylum, right? And what they did is, one of those rules is, usually when you apply for asylum, after 180 days passes, you could apply for a work permit. That makes sense, right? If you're here in the country, you obviously got to work during your time your case is going. But in June 2020, the DHS issued a rule out that said they moved that 180 days to 1 whole year. So that means if you submit your asylum application, you have to wait a full calendar year until you could apply for your work permit. And this is not good for the immigrant, because what are they supposed to do that entire year, right? They have no permission to work. What are they supposed to do? So this was implemented, or when the Trump administration was in control, and this was kind of a way of, trying to push back the people coming over, because a way to disincentivize them. Because if you have to wait 1 whole year to get a work permit, a lot of people may say, oh, that's not as good. Another rule that they made back in 2020 was that if you file your work permit, your employment authorization, USCIS had 30 days to start processing your application, right? So that's good, because hey, 30 days, that's pretty quick turnaround. Unfortunately, when this June 2020 memo came out, a rule, they ended that. So they no longer had to do it within 30 days, which kind of gave them a lot of time to do it. As you notice, both of these things are kind of not in favor of the immigrant. Other things that came with that rule back in 2020, if you were applying for a work permit based off asylum, they would also ask you to disclose your criminal history. That could make you ineligible. And if you were applying to renew your work permit, you had to apply within 90 days of it expiring. So all these made it more difficult for the immigrant. And the reason why is because you have to wait 1 whole year to get a work permit. They used to start processing it within 30 days, and then you had 90 days. But the good news is this, and this came out on September 21st, 2022, so about a week ago. So they've changed that, and they've changed those rules. And the reason why is this, anytime you have a new president, the president's at the top of the chain, and he can, I don't say controls, but controls the government branches. And Department of Homeland Security will follow the protocol of the president. So at the time, Trump was trying to slow down immigration. That's why he made them wait a year. They weren't processing them as fast. But now the Biden administration came in and they've changed it. So the good news is we're back to the pre-Trump rules. So that means if you have asylum, or if you filed an asylum application, you don't have to wait 1 year anymore until you apply. You can apply after 180 days. Boom, that's fantastic. Second thing that's very important is that if you file for a work permit, they should start processing it within 30 days. That's also fantastic, right? And then they've also eliminated the asking you about your criminal history when you're applying for your work permit, or making that ineligible for you to apply for a work permit. So this is fantastic, because this kind of does a U-turn as to what was happening, and this is very beneficial for anyone who's applying for asylum. So the biggest takeaway from this video is you can apply for asylum once you filed your application, either with USCIS or the court, after 180 days. Usually within 30 days, they will start processing your claim already. And then 3, if you have a criminal record, criminal convictions, that is no longer going to be relevant when you are applying for asylum. It can disqualify you for a work permit. Excuse me, sorry, I had some hiccups. But ultimately, that's the news. I think it's fantastic. My clients are going to be happy. Anyone who's applying for asylum is going to be happy, because it essentially makes the turnaround time for them to get the work permit a little quicker. So if you have any questions or know anyone in that situation, feel free to give me a call. More than happy to help. Thank you. My name is Attorney Charles Zavala. Call the phone number on the screen.